Hello, everyone. Welcome to my session on Power Platform and AI, specifically focused around Chat GPT, the Better Together story. My name is Reza Dorani. I am a principal program manager at Microsoft. I work in the Power Cat team. We are the customer advisory team focused on all areas of the Power Platform. I am also a community content creator. I create a lot of content around the Power Platform ecosystem on my YouTube channel. And my North Star is to empower makers. The agenda for this session, we will explore Microsoft and OpenAI, their partnership and the initiatives. We will look at the in-product AI-based capabilities for both Power Apps and Power Automate. Then we will take a look at how ChatGPT can assist makers in enhancing their experience of creating apps and flows. We will also look at how to create a custom connector that points to the open AI based APIs in order to bring in all of those capabilities inside the Power Platform. And all of these in the form of demos. As I walk through this session, if you have any questions, make sure you post it in the chat. At the same time, we will also have live Q&A at the end of the session. So I look forward to chatting with you guys right there. So let's begin. ChatGPT, OpenAI. This partnership with Microsoft is a multi-year, multi-billion dollar investment. And this has been an ongoing partnership since 2019. All of the new AI powered experiences, all of the models that are being built by OpenAI, all of these are included in Microsoft Azure's OpenAI service, which empowers developers to build cutting edge AI tech. Microsoft is the exclusive cloud partner with OpenAI. Azure will power all of the OpenAI workloads across research, products, and API services. And this innovation of AI, if you look at a time chart perspective of this from a Microsoft standpoint, and specifically focus on the Power Platform, back in 2021 June is when some of these capabilities, the AI-based capabilities, were brought into Power Apps. Translation of natural language to code. Then in October 2022, some of these capabilities were introduced in Power Automate. And if you've been following the entire Microsoft AI, OpenAI initiative pattern, a lot has taken place in the last 3 years. From GitHub Copilot to Bing Image Creator, Microsoft Designer, and the experience of bringing the entire ChatGPT into Microsoft Bing. So let's look at how these AI capabilities enhance our experience for creating Power Apps. Power Apps allows us to build low-code apps for web and mobile experiences. Power Apps Ideas is this AI-powered assistance that helps makers to create apps using natural language. It automatically suggests ideas for a wide range of controls that we add to our apps. We simply enter our requirements in natural language, and this AI-based copilot, which leverages GPT-3, will transform that into the native language that Power Apps understands, and that language is known as Power FX. We also have programming by examples, which empowers makers to easily manipulate data within Power Apps. Again, powered by GPT-3. We literally give it a data point, give it some sample data, give a desired output, And this AI based copilot will generate the relevant Power FX formula for us. Formula repair. When we build apps, many a times we come across scenarios where we have errors related to formulas that we write. How about AI suggesting fixes for the issues that we run into? That feature is known as formula repair. And once again, this is backed by the GPT-3 AI. We also have Power Apps Express Design, which generates app screens for us by literally uploading an image of the app or a Figma file. Once again, leverages a lot of the baked in AI capabilities. Now let's look at these in action in the form of demos. Here in Power Apps, I have an app that is connected to a SharePoint list. And in this Power App, I have gone ahead and designed a home screen experience that has a gallery that shows data from the SharePoint list. Now, let's see how we can enhance our experience of writing formulas to, let's say, filter the data in this gallery experience, and all of this by leveraging natural language. When I select my gallery, I get the ideas icon right here within the editor itself. And when I select that, it launches this AI based copilot experience where I can define what I would like to do with that gallery information. It provides a list of suggestions that I can select from. In this scenario, let's say I would like to filter the data in this gallery based upon the text that the user enters in a drop down control right here on the screen. So to do that, natural language, filter gallery, where title is my column in my SharePoint list. Title starts with, I will give the name of my text box control dot text. So again, what I'm trying to do here is natural language. I'm trying to give my requirements, which may or may not suffice, as you can see in this scenario. Now it says, I have not provided it with enough information. So let me try another scenario here where I say that I would like to filter the gallery where the title starts with text. Now this time, based upon the text that I entered, AI was able to make a suggestion for me. And the suggestion is a PowerFX formula that I can simply select and click apply. The moment I do that, it will apply that filter logic to the items property of my gallery. This entire PowerFX formula was generated by AI simply by me providing my requirements in natural language. So the hard-coded text here, I will simply replace this with my text box control, which is on the screen, dot text. So if I was to go ahead and preview this app, currently it's showcasing all the items in the gallery. If I start searching, that filter condition gets applied and it only shows me the data where the title column begins with the text that I entered. Now, ideas comes in various forms. Let's take a specific column within the gallery as an example. Here, I have a label control that shows information about the due date of the item. And currently, it's formatting the date in a specific fashion: month, day, and year. Now, if I select ideas again, I have multiple options. Let's try some text formatting. Once again, the AI panel launches, the ideas panel. It says the current format of my data is this. And what do you want to transform it to? So the moment I click there, you can see how it starts making suggestions. It's smart enough to understand I'm dealing with a date column format, so it makes suggestions accordingly. And I can even type in any custom format of my choice. For example, I would like this to be represented as April 27th, 2023. Now, if I select that, notice it gives me ideas, the formula, the PowerFX code. I simply select and apply. That formula comes into play. And as you can see, all the date columns now have that specific format associated with it. Once again, I have not written a single line of code so far. We can do more with this. Let's go ahead and try out another option, which is conditional formatting. So let's say I would like to highlight all of the date columns in the color red if the due date has passed. So let's try this out in natural language. I will say highlight due date in red color if due date is less than today. So once again, I simply wrote my requirements, ideas, evaluated my natural language input, suggested a PowerFX formula. I apply, that formula comes into play, and we are recording this video as of the 27th. So as you can see, 27th of Feb, there are two items here that are preceding today's date, and both of them have been highlighted in red. So the simplicity of leveraging AI from a maker standpoint directly in the studio experience, this has been available for us, which leverages GPT-3. Next, let's explore the AI capabilities in Power Automate. Describe it and let AI build it. Literally, all you have to do is describe your requirements to Power Automate, and Power Automate will suggest flows that you can build directly through a point and click experience. This runs on OpenAI's Codex model, which is a descendant of GPT-3 that once again transforms natural language to code. In this scenario, natural language to a workflow, a flow in Power Automate. Plus, you can also format your data within Power Automate by simply providing examples to the AI model. The AI model will transform that into expressions. That's the native language for Power Automate. Simply train the model, teach the model, give it the input, give it the desired output, and it will provide you the expression. And very much in lines with the AI story for Power Platform, we have AI Builder, which comes with numerous AI models that we can leverage. One of the most popular ones is around document processing, where you can upload standard document types, train the model, teach the model as to the data points or the information that you would like to extract from those models, publish the models, and then leverage those models in Power Apps or Power Automate. So let's check these out in the form of demos. Here in the Power Automate Maker portal, if we head over to Create, one of the new options that's available in preview for us is to use the feature, the AI feature, to simply describe our needs in everyday words, that is natural language, and the AI model will provide us with options to go ahead and create a flow. It comes with a standard set of examples that we can choose from, or we can provide our own requirements. Let's take a scenario. I have an Excel file that has customer data. I have a SharePoint list where I would like to load all the data from the Excel file. So I need automation to move data from my Excel file to my SharePoint list. I can build this flow from scratch, but let's try and see if this AI model can help us. So I'm going to say load data from Excel file to SharePoint list. natural language. And it goes ahead and suggests a flow. And you can see each and every trigger point. You can see the trigger of the flow and each and every action within the flow. I will hit next. So it will provide me the connections, SharePoint, and Excel. I'll click next. I can even go ahead and configure the flow here, but to keep it simple, I'll click create the flow. And within a matter of a few seconds, it goes ahead and creates the template or the schema for my flow. The flow triggers manually, and then all I have to do is start configuring it. So my location will be OneDrive for business. My document library will be OneDrive. That's because my Excel file is hosted in OneDrive. My Excel file is called SharePoint data. So I'm going to call that out .xlsx. Once I do that and it connects to it, it will provide me the tables within that Excel file. So that's the customer info table within the Excel file. Then it will loop through all the items of the Excel file and start creating the items in my SharePoint list. So all I have to do here is connect to my SharePoint list called customer data. So I simply connect it to that list. And once that happens, it lists out all the properties within the SharePoint list. So for title, I will map it to first name. Last name, I will map it to the last name column from my Excel file. Age, I will map it to age. Gender, I will map it to gender. So if you notice, 90% of my work was done by AI, since all I did, remember, it's a co-pilot, so it's me working with AI together to create an outcome, which in this case is an entire flow. Now that my flow is configured, I'll click save. So this goes ahead and creates the flow, which I can run either from my mobile device or directly from the browser experience. In this scenario, I will run it directly from the browser experience. So I'll say run, click continue, and run my flow. The workflow process has triggered. The flow should go ahead, connect to the Excel file in OneDrive, start loading the data from that Excel file, and start transforming it or loading it into SharePoint. And if I simply refresh this, you can see all that data from my Excel file flying in to my SharePoint list. Now, not only creating flows, you can even leverage it for writing expressions. Here I have a very simple flow that gets items from a SharePoint list that tracks work progress, loads all that information in the form of an HTML table, and sends it out in an email. Now, if I was to run this specific flow, the outcome that this flow provides is an email that I receive. So I've just run this flow. The flow successfully, and here is the email that I have received. Now, right here, if you focus on due date, it provides the data in a specific format that I can just simply go and copy. Now, let's say I would like to transform that due date. I would like to represent it in a better format, in a more user friendly format. Now, for that, there is no direct actions available in flows. Specifically in this scenario where I'm creating the HTML table on the fly, my only option is to write expressions. And writing expressions from a maker standpoint is hard. So let's see how AI can come in here and help us as well. Due date, that's the dynamic content. I will remove this, head over to expression, and instead of writing the expression, I'll let AI build it for me by simply clicking on Format Data by Examples. Here, I will connect to my column where the data is, which is due date. It is asking for sample data, which I will provide. Next, I need to provide my desired output. So simply, as I start typing, you can see how smart the model is. It understands the input data. So it starts providing me suggestions. And I quite like this suggestion, which is Feb 2nd, 2025. So I'll simply select that. Well, this one doesn't match the current format. It's actually Feb 2nd. This one's actually 2022. So I can train it in that way as well. So Feb 25, comma 2022. So if you notice, even the AI model can give inaccurate results, but the best part is you can provide your desired output. It's an AI based co-pilot. It's you and the AI working together. So I couldn't give a better example of this. So I've picked Feb 25th, 2022, and I will click Get Expression. And notice AI has gone in and generated an expression for me. And the best part is I can also test it out right here. So let's say I say 2022, 12th, 12. So if I test this, it should provide me the desired output, which is December 12th, 2022. So it gave me accurate results. So I'm happy with this suggested expression. I click apply, and this expression will literally fly through and be plugged in for me directly. Once again, I did not write a single line of code. I simply trained the model. I'll click test and run this flow. So I've run the flow, and the flow has succeeded successfully. It's gone ahead and sent out an email. This time, if we focus on the email, we can see all the dates starting to get loaded up in the format that I specified. Next, we spoke about AI builder capabilities where you can custom train an AI model within the Power Platform. The model that I'm showcasing here is around document processing, which allows us to leverage AI to read information from documents, be it structured or unstructured. In this model, you simply specify the data points that you would like to capture from documents. You can even capture tabular information. Once you have that information, you simply go ahead and start uploading your documents. In this scenario, I have uploaded some invoice based documents that I have trained the model on. So this is a sample invoice document that has information like the invoice number, tabular information as to the items that the user acquired, who the customer is, and so on and so forth. So you simply upload your models to train the model, and then for each of the documents, AI leverages OCR, optical character recognition, and you can simply start selecting or highlighting the data points within those standard documents. And you can let the model know that the information in this section is related to invoice number, this is related to my date, this is my tabular data, and so on and so forth. So you simply train the model. And once this model is trained, I can then leverage this model in apps and flows. Here's an example of where I have leveraged this model to automate metadata from invoice documents. So I have a SharePoint list where the user will upload those invoice documents. The moment the document is uploaded, I have a workflow that triggers when a file is created in that SharePoint library, picks that information, puts it across the AI model, gets all the details, and starts populating the properties based upon the information that the model was trained on. So let's try this out. I will upload a couple of invoice documents. And for both of these documents, the flow will trigger. The flow will then go ahead and call the AI model, which I trained based upon metadata, which is some sample documents of a similar type. The flow will then call the AI model, get all the information from the documents, and start populating all the information. If we focus on the flow itself, the flow is scheduled to run instantly when a user uploads a file in that document library. So you can see here, just 20 seconds ago, both the flows, since I uploaded two documents, my flows ran. And if I head back to my SharePoint library and simply refresh, you will note how all of the properties associated with the document were automatically generated thanks to AI. ChatGPT. ChatGPT, known as Chat Generative Pre-trained Transformer, is an advanced AI model trained by OpenAI which interacts in a conversational way. Conversational AI. It is based on the GPT 3.5 architecture and is trained on a large data set to generate human like responses to a wide range of conversations. It can be used for various natural language processing tasks, such as chatbots, language translation, text summarization, and more. ChatGPT is the buzzword today. ChatGPT can do a lot from answering general knowledge questions to writing code to commenting code and a lot more. In fact, this slide itself, the outline of the slide, I got it from ChatGPT. The GIF that is playing inline in the slide deck here is a proof of that. I simply asked ChatGPT, what is ChatGPT? And it provided me that output, which I copy pasted in the slide deck. So, how can ChatGPT help in developing apps and flows? Now, makers can take advantage of this conversational AI to assist in building apps and flows. You can use natural language to learn about Power Platform in general. It can give you step by step guidance around how to build an app for a specific scenario or how to build a flow, or simply comment your code, explain formulas, write expressions, and in a lot more scenarios. ChatGPT is your friend. It's a co pilot. So, once again, it's you and the AI model working together. OpenAI has tons of different models for different scenarios. DALL-E, DALL-E for creating images from text, ChatGPT, which is the conversational AI chatbot, Codex that understands and generates code, GPT-3 that understands and generates natural language, and more. And the best part is, in the Power Platform, we have the ability to build custom connectors. Now, what is a custom connector? While the Power Platform ecosystem has over 900 connectors to choose from, there could be scenarios where you would like to build your own connectors, connectors that point to APIs. OpenAI has these APIs that it has exposed that we can call into. So why not build a custom connector to call ChatGPT AI models via the API and leverage it directly in Power Apps and Power Automate? Let's look at this in the form of demos. Chat.openai.com. This is where I can have natural language conversations, conversational AI with a bot, that is ChatGPT. So let's go ahead and start asking ChatGPT for some questions. My first question is, what is Power Apps? So it goes ahead and starts responding to the question that I put forth. It gives the definition of Power Apps, gives some good use cases around where you can leverage Power Apps, talking about how you can connect so many other data sources and more. Now, this is conversational AI, so it understands the context. Because my question was, what is Power Apps? If I follow up with a specific question, it would understand that I'm correlating it to Power Apps. For example, I would want to know more about the filter function. Now it starts interpreting what the filter function does and starts responding about what the filter function can do for us. Now, in this scenario, it's gone ahead and kind of generalized what the filter function can do for me. Now, of course, you can ask any question of your choice. It can even give you code examples, by the ways. It's kind of putting that information out here live. So let's try and ask a question, a scenario wherein I need to create a Power App that connects, let's say, to a SharePoint list. So let's see if it can give me step by step guidance around that. So, how to create a Power App that connects to a SharePoint list. And this is natural language. So, if I misspell something, or if my grammar is incorrect, it's still fine. It can go ahead, pick that information, and you can see how it's giving me step by step guidance as to how I can do that. Go to Power App, create an app, pick your layout, connect to SharePoint. Step by step guidance is provided for me. So it's a great way for me to learn about Power Platform, learn about the different formulas, and ask questions. Copilot, my friend, my assistant. Now let's go back to our scenario, right? This was initially what I leveraged for the ideas logic, where I leveraged the in product GPT-3 experience to frame a few questions. Now, here I have a formula, and maybe I don't understand what this formula does. So I'll simply copy this. I will go to ChatGPT and I will say, explain that formula. And within seconds, it will start breaking the formula for me and start explaining what this formula does. It will explain each and every step. Filter is the name of the function. WP tracking list is the name of my data source, right? It's just gone ahead and interpreted what that function does. It's giving me each and every step of what it means. Conversational AI. Let's try and let's try and add an additional layer of complexity to this. Right now, my gallery is filtering based on this text box, but I also have a drop down called as priority, which is a choice column, and I would like to filter based on the priority choice column. So I'll go back to ChatGPT and I will say add another filter for priority choice column where value is the name of my drop down control on the screen, drop down selected value. Again, natural language. So I may or may not give the exact meaning of what I'm trying to achieve, but I tried my best. And you can see how it's gone ahead and given me a formula that I can choose from. So I can simply go and copy that code, go back to my Power App, and paste that formula in here. Of course, it's not got the exact name of my column right, which is still fine. It's given me the formula. It's got me almost 90% of the way there. I simply make a change, and that's my formula. Now, notice based on my formula, if I preview this, it doesn't show me any results until and unless I select a value in that priority drop down. This is conversational AI again. So let's tell ChatGPT. Firstly, I'll tell it correct formula is. I'll plug in my formula so it knows that that's my correct formula. So based upon my scenario, that's the formula that that works for me. So it goes ahead and says, all right, that's your formula in play. Now here, I would like to tell it to show all the data if this specific drop down value is empty. So show all data if drop down is empty. Conversational AI. It's smart enough to understand the context. So here it goes and updates the formula for me, which I can once again simply go copy, go back to my Power App, go and change the formula, literally copy paste, preview, and this works. Show me all the items where the priority is critical. Show me all the items where the title begins with data words, priority critical. And if this is empty, it will simply show me all the items. That's the power of ChatGPT. And now, the APIs that are exposed as part of the models, there are various models to choose from. Text completion that can complete the text for you, or image generation that can generate an image for you literally by providing text. And right here, we are provided with all the information. What's the API endpoint? What is the headers that we have to pass? How should we pass the data? How should we get that data? And in Power Platform, you can simply go and create a custom connector that respects those API endpoints. My security key is my API key. I've gone ahead and defined a couple of methods using OpenAPI's protocols that have been provided. And then I have gone ahead and got that custom connector, my ChatGPT connector, directly inline in both apps and flows. In this scenario, in my Power App. Let's check it out in action. This is using the DALI model, which generates images based on text. I simply say cat and I say, give me 5 images. I click generate. This is calling the API via the custom connector. And once the response is successful, I will start getting 5 cat images that it has generated for me. Let's say I change this to a house. I click generate. Once again, we'll go ahead and call the model. I'll start generating 5 images for me based upon the text that I entered. And not just this, I can even bring in the text completion model, which can respond to any conversation that I have with it. For example, once again, what is Power Apps? I click chat, calls the ChatGPT endpoint, provides me the response. And why just limit ourselves to Power Apps? Why not Power Automate? Because the same connector can be leveraged in both places. So right here, all I have to do is search for ChatGPT. That's my custom connector that has these two specific endpoints or actions that I created in my custom connector. So one is for image generation. I can define how many images I need. I can define properties here. So what's the image size? I can provide a prompt. This flow is manually triggered, so I can even take the prompt from the user and provide the value dynamically. So that's going to generate an image based on the prompt I enter. And then, of course, if I again search for ChatGPT, I have the AI, conversational AI model as well. Here, all I need to do is provide the prompt, save my flow. My flow, once saved, will be ready to go that I can trigger manually from either my mobile device or from the web browser experience. In this scenario, I'll simply go ahead and run this in the web browser experience. It is asking me for the prompt. In this case, I'll just say lion. I'll run the flow. The flow triggers. It should go ahead and call those custom actions that I created in the custom connector. And if you look at the output for the first action, I said, give me 1 image of a lion. So here's the endpoint for that image that I can get. So I'll get the image of a lion. And then I also have the conversational AI that talks about what a lion means. So as simple as that. And this is Power Automate, which allows you to connect to any data source or service of your choice. So you can expand this in a ton of different scenarios. Maybe I'm having a conversation in Teams and I would like to initiate or call ChatGPT to answer a specific question. I can do that because Power Automate has a connector based in Teams that I can trigger a flow. So I can pass the user's information, the context, to these APIs to get a response. I can use it in various scenarios. So all in all, to recap, ChatGPT is our friend. OpenAI has these various models that we can leverage. Plus, the Power Platform is already ahead of the curve because it leverages a lot of those AI based capabilities GPT-3 natively in product itself through a lot of different ways in both Power Apps and Power Automate. Your makers, your business users, your power users, your citizen developers can take advantage of both the in product experiences and the ChatGPT based experiences to enhance their experience of creating apps and flows. I hope you enjoyed the session. Thank you so much for listening in. And I'm curious to see all your questions or to hear your questions in the live chat. Thank you.